Okay, now please. The first one, Roald Dahl was born in Wales, where he wrote children's stories. This one is called main clause followed by subordinate clause. First, remember one thing, that sentence has clauses. Connectives join clauses. First one is when you start learning language, you start with alphabets, letters. Then you go to words. Afterwards, which category comes? Phrases. After phrases, clauses come. Clauses means a short sentence, not a full-fledged sentence. After clauses, sentences come. These are all sentences which is written in front of you, but they have clauses. We are finding out how many different clauses there are. First one says main clause, followed by a subordinate clause. One is a main clause, one is a boss, and the other one is an employee. Okay, one is an employer, other is an employee. So main clause is the boss, subordinate, and employee. So Roald Dahl was born in Wales. It is main clause. Main clause, remember, does not need anything to be based on. Main clause can stand alone. That's why the boss. But employee must work under the boss. Where he wrote children's stories, this is subordinate clause. It needs the boss. Do you understand? This one, Roald Dahl was born in Wales. This one is the main sentence, right? This one is the main sentence. Roald Dahl was born in Wales. And this one is what? This is connective. It is connecting this clause with this main clause. Subordinate clause, main clause. Main clause means Roald Dahl was born in Wales. Finish. Complete sentence. Complete meaning given. Roald Dahl was born in Wales. Somebody understands very well what is said. But if person says he wrote children's stories without telling main clause, we don't know. Who is he? Who wrote children's stories? He wrote children's stories. This sentence must need something to stand on. This sentence needs some support, some foundation to stand on. So it is standing on here. Main clause is in between, but it starts with subordinate clause. First we look for the main clause. This whole is main clause. Main clause. Roald Dahl began writing children's stories in 1960. His first two becoming classics. It's fine. Complete information that he was writing children's stories in 1960. But we need, if we say this thing alone, after establishing himself as a writer for adult, we don't understand anything. Where is the connective here? After. This is your connective here. It is not in between. Even then it is connective because we put such word in the beginning that main clause can be attached with it. After establishing himself as a writer, otherwise if I say after establishing himself as a writer, it is no information. So remember, subordinate clause gives an information on the basis of some other. Subordinate clause embedded in the main clause. First we look for the main clause. Can you tell me where is the main clause? Okay, Roald Dahl was fighter pilot during the World War II. It's complete sentence. When you have a connective is the thing which tells you I am subordinate clause. So who wrote children's stories with yellow pencils is a subordinate clause. We are not asking question. It is not that who, okay? Who is not WH question right now. Who is a connective right now. Who is not WH question. Remember, it is connective here. Good. Okay, this one is your main clause, and you need to embed your subordinate clause with the help means your sentence type is wrong. Comma is needed. Do commas are needed to embed your subordinate clause here. So if you improve your writing, if you want to improve your writing, learn these sentence structures. If your sentence structure is different in your writing is superb, because Cambridge examiner is looking for these things.